What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media and the This Is Difficult video game podcast, currently on hiatus. And I will be one of your hosts this evening. Watching Paint Dry is the show where we hang out long after we should have thought about going to bed and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated over the years that require painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die. So we're just trying to stave off death for as long as possible. And joining me on the line, it's not Broody Gambit. It's a purple ape. There's a purple ape on the other side of the line. He's a Bonzi buddy. His name is Twitson. Greg Reynolds, how's it going?
It's going good.
I'm so glad to hear that. I genuinely, it's been a good day. It really has. We'll get into that more as we go. Greg is similarly to Broody painting through the Stormlight archives set, and I continue to work on Marvel Crisis Protocol because I'm a giant parody of myself and I'll just be painting Marvel characters for the rest of time because 3D printing exists. I'm printing Arcade tomorrow and I'm actually very excited about it. Along with some dice for a game that I'm working on that Greg will know more about at Gen Con. And I'm sure he's very excited about, but I can't talk to him about on the air. So as with all the shows that we host here on the Another Letdown Media channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible. So any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. Here's the thing. You can actually see Greg's face sort of in his camera because he's not using a document camera the way we normally do. And of course my face is on the overlay. So welcome, Greg. How's it going? Like properly, how's it going?
Good. Like you said, it's been a good day. We spent the day up at my sister-in-law's house.
Nice.
Stepping out with my niece and nephew.
Family days are always great.
Right.
I had a lot of family time, a lot of daddy-daughter time this week with my kid. And oh, hello, Blink. Yes, it is indeed kombucha time. Cheers. Peach Paradise tonight. GT's Kombucha, not a sponsor, but Dave, well, you missed your boat, so who cares? Genuinely, he has. I have a friend who makes kombucha now, so I'm like, I don't actually need Dave. And yet I still continue to give him money, go figure. Yeah, so my wife kind of took her turn today with the kid, and I went video game shopping with my buddy T-Dubs. And we did very well. Very well. Like, wholly well.
Pick up anything good?
Yes, I will get into that in just a moment. I just need to figure out. I need to get a reference photo going here. Oh, come on. Bing. I hate Bing. Google. Rogue Comics first appearance. Avengers Annual number 10, 1981. And this looks like, do I have an actual panel? That would be cool. I have scans of the comic. No, these are digital. These are garbage. Wait. Oh, come on. Would help if I clicked on images. That's a smart move.
Yeah. I can't imagine that many articles written about it, but
right. So like, okay, she looks pretty different in the comics. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness. Do I actually? Oh no, that's Uncanny X-Men 223. That's such a cool costume, and I like it a lot. But that's not the first appearance costume. I try to paint all of mine in first appearance costume as best I can. But that doesn't always work out. Like this mini is very clearly X-Men animated series. And
yeah.
like, you know, I want to stay true to that. And I do that sometimes, but like I really try hard to make them first appearance if I can. So it's oh, this is a Bleeding Cool article. article. Maybe we have... No, it's just... First appearance Rogue at a 9.8. Sold for $2,425.
Jeez.
That's stupid. I'm sorry. Grading is the dumbest thing ever.
Right? It takes... The secondhand collector's market generally is usually pretty bad.
It's trash. It's utter trash. And it's like, what are we even doing here?
Like, there's this board game that we really, really enjoy playing that's completely out of print.
Are you perhaps talking about Arkham Horror 2nd Edition?
Maybe.
All right. This is Marvel Super Heroes 1990. That's not what I want. Come on. All right, so it's Avengers Annual number 10. Is this it? Yes. Rogue's very first appearance in Avengers Annual number 10. Now I got it full screen. Okay, whoa. Oh, wow. She makes out with Cap in her first, like, her second panel. Oh, that's wild. Well, she was a villain at first, right?
Maybe?
Because she had Captain Marvel's memories for a while.
Ah.
So the question is, how can I make reference to this very, very, very different costume? It's a paler green. What have I got? Can I pull this off? Or do I just go X-Men Animated Series? It's like a gray-green. Oh, you know what? She's got the X engraved on her costume. I guess I have to go X-Men. That stinks. I was really going to try and lean into that, but no, I think I just go with her iconic costume.
Yeah, but
which
if it's
is
part
fine.
Of the mini print, then yeah, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I got a good reference. We're good. Let's rock and roll. Yes. So I really did. I did incredibly well at the retro game stores today. I picked up... So, I don't know if you know this. I got... earlier this week, I bought a Spice Orange GameCube shell to match my Spice Orange Game Boy Advance.
Neat.
Yeah, it was... I got it imported from Japan. It was like $30, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's dope.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And it's just the shell. So I was like, okay, if I can get the shell... I can almost definitely get a cheap GameCube to match. Like a donor console, basically. And
right.
I figured I'd find it at like a yard sale or something like that. I figured I'd wait. I wasn't in a hurry. But I also was like, oh, well, Tim and I, my buddy and I are going out retro game hopping today. Oh, excuse me. Today. And I wasn't really on the lookout for a GameCube, but I was like just price looking, you know. I was like, what do I need to expect to pay here? And most of them were in the vicinity of like $130, $140. Some of them were as low as $120, but they looked pretty rugged. And then we stopped at this one like hole in the wall place for comics, oddly, on the way home. And we were like just poking around, and I was like, oh my god, they've got a GameCube, and it's in like trash condition physically. But it's only $90, and you know it's guaranteed to work because I'm buying it from a store. And I asked the clerk, like, is it gonna work? And he's like, yeah, oh yeah, I tested it myself. It's fine. It spins up a disc and it's great. It just needs some TLC. And I was like, great, I'll take it for $90.
You're gonna do the exact opposite of TLC.
No, I am. Because I'm gonna clean it up completely, and get all the dust out of it and stuff, and then pull the guts and put it in the orange shell. For $90. And I was like, I'm not going to do better than that. Like, I might find one for $10 at a flea market, but I can't guarantee that it's going to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, this is as good as it gets. Watch me find like an $80 or $75 one, next week. But like, no, I'm not going to do that because, this is good. And so that was my big score. And the other thing is most of the damage to it is sun damage. It's faded.
Which is fine.
No, absolutely. It allows me to, like, that discarded shell gives me something I can practice retrobiting with. And if I can get it nice and cleaned up, I can sell it for, $10, $15.
Yeah.
So I can make some of my money back. And so that's all good. And so that was my big score today. It was a $90 GameCube in working order. I also, in terms of hardware, I picked up a Game Boy Link cable because I didn't already have one. And finally finished completing my Pokedex to 151 in both red and blue versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using
took me
glitches or?
Of course.
Yeah.
Look who you're asking. Why is this so high? Yeah, definitely using glitches. But I didn't in red version. I forgot to save enough trainers. Like I wasn't counting right. So I had to trade a couple.
Yeah.
But having blue already completed to 151 made that much easier.
Much easier.
Just found what I needed and transferred them over, and it was bish bash bosh, no problem. So yeah, those are my big hardware scores. Normally I don't go to retro stores looking for hardware. I figure I can pick those up on eBay or wherever else. But when the price is right, you go for it. You pull the trigger.
Right.
And I hadn't spent a whole lot of money at that point because I was like, I had a little bit of cash left over from sale of DVDs. Wow, words. At the local DVD reseller. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take that and that's gonna be my cash today. So I was able to. I had $60 and I was able to pick up Pokemon the Trading Card Game for Game Boy.
Like Game Boy?
Yeah, dude, that game has no right to be as good as it is. It's phenomenal. Right? And I've been playing it recently on not a Game Boy. Let's just put it that way. Definitely not doing anything illegal. And well, actually, emulation is not illegal, but having the file before you have the thing is. So that was pretty cool. And then the first stop we made was actually right outside Alex's house. It's like around the corner from where Alex lives. So we, of course, met up with Alex for lunch. And by the way, the baboon is doing wonderfully. And he says to say hello.
Hey.
So we did that. And our first stop was at a place called Level Up Games. And their prices were absolutely unbeatable today. Normally they're a little high, but I don't know. He must have been feeling nice today. I got Pokemon Pokemon Trading Card Game for $28, which was a little bit of a strange price, but whatever, fine. And I got Star Fox 64 for $20.
Yeah.
$20, which is wicked cheap.
Yeah, the AI for the Pokemon card game isn't the best.
Oh no, it's dumb as rocks, but it's what a good way of teaching that game back in its infancy. Holy moly.
Base set, I think it's up through Fossil.
Yes, correct. So it's base jungle and Fossil. Back when WotC still controlled it. And WotC was actually doing good things as opposed to now where they're just trap. Yes, it's a portmanteau of crap and trap. Crap and trash, rather. So yeah, that was a pretty good start to the day. Met Alex for lunch. Pretty good lunch. Not the best Mexican food I've ever had, but decent. And then and unbeatable price. I mean, I think I paid $20 for my lunch. And it was, full fajita platter. So that was pretty good. And we got to hang out with the baboon, so like you can't do much better than that. So then we set off again, and we ended up at a couple of different places called Core Gaming, and their prices were just way too high, but they did have just some awesome rarities. So it was kind of like it was like Tim equivocated it to going to a museum. You see these cool things, and you're like, oh, that's really neat. Glad I came. Don't really want to buy that thing, but that is really neat.
But that nostalgic hit was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And you always feel a little bad, like walking in, ogling a bunch of stuff, and then walking out. But I was like, I had my notebook with me, and I was like, yeah, this is not what I'm looking to pay. Which
the best thing you can do for that is buy a drink.
Yeah, or something like that. And unfortunately, they didn't have anything like that at that particular store. So I was like, well, here we go. So I'm just gonna feel bad. I'm gonna take 5 damage and move, as they say. And that was a good decision because the next place we went was closed. Their power was out.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were closed for the day. And of course, we didn't bother to check their Facebook or anything, but it was directly on the way to the next store, so we really didn't care. It was just like a little turn off. And so the next place we went, where I was like, oh, it's this place called like Retro Game World or something like that. It's a very stupid name. But we went, and I was like, this is not the place. This isn't where we went last time. And Tim goes, well, let's go in anyway. So we did, and it was brightly lit and well like kept. It was clean, which says a lot for game stores because a lot of them aren't.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is like the selection is just not like last time we went to this place. Maybe I was like, oh, maybe they moved something like that, and I was like, the selection is not there. Like it's not good. And so I get back on Google. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they have a second location that is like their bigger location. So we get back in the car and we go to their bigger location. It's like 10 minutes away or something. It's not a big deal. Well, we park the car and we're like, yeah, we're 15-minute parking. That's fine. We're not going to be too long. We're getting on toward the end of the day at this point anyway. And we start to walk toward the store. And I look up, and I'm like, oh, there's train tracks. Okay, we'll just cross the train tracks. No big deal. There's hardly ever any trains in New Hampshire. I look down the track, and lo and behold, there is a train barreling down the track at us. I was like, Tim, there's a train. We need to move right now. And he's like, oh, expletive deleted. Yes, we do. So we ran, and no sooner did we get across the tracks did the gates drop, and an Amtrak comes just crashing through the gate. And I'm like, well, good job we got here when we did. So yeah, that was that part of the trip. And by then and at that stop I picked up a Wii game, which I did not expect to find and was not even looking for. I picked up Trauma Center Second Opinion, which may be the best use of the Wiimote in the entire lifespan of the Wii. You're using it as a scalpel.
Yeah.
So it was one of my favorite games when the Wii first came out. It just didn't get better than that, and Atlas just knocked it out of the park. So I picked that up. It was $10. I was like, yeah, no, that's a no-brainer. It has some markings on it that I'm gonna need to take off, but like that's fine. I can do that. Like a little Sharpie or whatever. So I was feeling pretty happy at that point, and Tim was like, "All right, well, we've got one more stop left. It's Guerrilla Games. It's like the best." I was like, "All right, I haven't been there in years. Last I was there, it was really disappointing, and it was just I was there for a Magic tournament, so like I wasn't even in the market for retro games at the time.
Right.
And we go in and immediately that's like as you walk in there was a Chrono Trigger poster, so I'm like, oh, okay, these are my people. Like clearly these are my people.
Such a good game.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately the Chrono Trigger poster was not for sale, but that's fine. He did have a couple of ROM hacks of Chrono Trigger on cartridges, and I was like, that's kind of neat. You're not supposed to sell those, but that's cool.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble quick.
Yeah, it will, but as long as there's loopholes that like it's actually very complicated. But you know, whatever. I'm not gonna be the guy to shut him down. So yeah, I start poking around. I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff here that I could get, but nothing like really, you know, is jumping off, is flying off the shelf at me. Like it's. How do you use a Sharpie? Remove it. So actually, the way you remove Sharpie, do I just do this on camera? I might be able to. Usually I do this with an Expo marker, and you actually draw over the Sharpie and then use isopropyl alcohol to take it off. Do I have any Q-tips right now? Let's see if I can make this work. Actually, I think I do. I can't get to it right now. I'm not gonna do it right now, but yeah. So that's the pro tip. That's how you take Sharpie off a cartridge. And then of course there's always the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser if that fails, which I don't like to use because it is abrasive, and you know it's kind of like the last ditch effort. But yeah, so. I'm like I could get there's a number of stuff that I could get here, a number of things. I was really looking for like Shining Force 2 or Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage, both of which I really badly want, but I didn't find them anywhere. So I was like, I was kind of bumming at that point. Yeah, that's all. But, you know, life goes on. And I found a copy of Sonic 3 for $60. And I'm like, that's a little steep, but it is complete in box, and that would complete my Sonic the Hedgehog collection complete in box. I do not need to grow a beard like Greg. That would be weird and disgusting. My facial hair does not come in that well. And I also get really irritated and aggravated with it.
It's been a work in progress.
Yeah, you've been growing that for as long as I've known you, basically. So yeah, so I ended up picking up Sonic, and I thought about getting. They had Turtles 2 for NES and Spy Hunter for NES. They also had Kirby's Adventure and a couple of other just like random NES cartridges that I wanted. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna hold off. Is Greg any relation to the Sasquatch? Yes. He's a Bonzi buddy. They're both members of the Great Ape family.
Technically true.
Right? And so yeah, staying my hand allowed me to get that GameCube, and that was smart of me. But yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good day. I was pretty happy, and like, just the real highlight was just seeing some of the weird and esoteric games that, like, you never see elsewhere. We saw a couple of like Blockbuster exclusive games that were bopping around. T-Dubs picked up the Captain America and the Avengers game for SNES, and he got a really good condition copy of it for, you know, like $5 cheaper than we found it elsewhere in bad condition. So that was pretty cool. You got a Link amiibo of one kind or another. I don't remember exactly which one, but I think it was like Link's Awakening. the sort of new cartoony one.
Yeah.
Which is
so good.
So good. Absolutely amazing.
And the new ones in the same style.
Dude, oh my god. Cannot wait. I understand that, like, I don't like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. I don't think they're Zelda games. They don't feel right to me. What I feel like Nintendo chickened out of what could have been a really successful new IP. Like, that's what I feel about those games. I feel like they were like, it should be a new IP, but Zelda and blah, we're gonna be chickens. Zelda, like Metroid, Zelda defined a genre.
Yes.
And moving away from that is hurting your fan base. Mega Man also, like, I know that's not Nintendo, that's Capcom, but like, yeah. There's an expectation there, and Breath Tears did not meet that expectation.
I haven't picked up Tears of the Kingdom because I need to finish beating Zelda on Breath of the Wild on Master Mode. I'm not a huge fan of these, so I'm going to beat the first one all the way before I pick up the next one.
Yeah. I did not pick up either. I watched Adam play Breath, and I was like, nope, that is not for me.
I'm glad I played it, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Some of the new combat mechanics are neat, but with weapon durability, if you find one you like,
it's gone, yeah, within moments. And like the whole idea of legend, the whole word legend pertains to the Master Sword. It should not have charges. You pick up the Master Sword and you're going to kick face. That's the expectation.
Right?
So yeah, I never played it, either of those, and I don't intend to. I don't consider them Zelda games in the emotional sense. But like, yes, Tears obviously established this sort of creative aspect, which it very much borrows from like Minecraft in that regard, but like, whatever, fine. I think that this new one that I can't remember the name of really takes that to the next level. It's like, okay, we have this concept that works and it's fine, but let's implement it in a very Zelda way.
Right?
So you're creative, you're being creative with a purpose. Which is, I think, something that Minecraft always did or never quite understood.
Yes.
They've tried, but they never quite get there with it.
It's a fun toy, but it's not quite a game.
Right. And they tried to put like a story mode in it and stuff. It's like, no, because that okay.
As someone who spent a vast majority of the early aughts on Minecraft server from Minecraft server.
Oh, I mean, I beta tested the crap out of that game. And I was like, this is not for me. I don't understand this game. Because if my creative itch is to construct something, I'm just going to go grab a boatload of Legos.
Right?
Sorry, I should say Lego bricks because I'm using the plural there. Lego is plural of Lego. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for the new Zelda. And obviously I'm very excited for the new Metroid as well, but like, as I was saying to Tim earlier, like, I'm not going to buy anything on Switch right now.
Right? Because
knowing that Switch 2 is coming and not knowing whether it's backwards compatible, I don't want to do that. if they come out and say, "Oh, Switch 2 is not backwards compatible,"
then everything you've bought in the last year is just worthless.
Right.
It's not worthless, but
it's not as it should. It's not as it should be. Where if they say it is backwards compatible, I say, okay, great. How much of this? What percentage of these games is going to be re-released on, or given an upgrade for Switch 2? Like Metroid 4 or Prime 4 is going to be. How did I not? I did not load Lego shipped in boats. Well. What was I saying?
Metroid 4.
Oh, Prime 4, like, given the release window they've said, it's going to be at least a cross-gen, if not a Switch 2 exclusive.
Right.
And yes, that will sell consoles, for sure. But will it sell... Like, are they going to try and... If they cross-platform it, we're looking at a necessary degradation in quality.
Yes.
Like, they're not going to be able to push the boundaries of the Switch 2.
Yep.
And so that sucks. But if it's Switch 1 and then just up-resed to Switch 2, that also sucks because it means we could have seen that earlier. I don't know. This yeah, so I'm just not buying anything for a while. I got enough games to finish. Like, I talk about this on Zach Sucks at Games all the time. Like, I've got a pile of games that need to be finished that I genuinely haven't even touched yet.
See the aforementioned Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. And I've been back on the Hades train lately because
Such a good game.
it's an amazing game. And it's so easy. Like, conceptually, it's not like succeeding and making it out. Yeah, I'm on 5 of 10 for credits roll. I'll do it eventually. I'll get there. But I don't have to do it all at once. Just kind of drag my feet through it. And it's like, yeah, this is good. Do a run here and there. Call it good. Go to bed. I'm never disappointed with that game because no matter how badly you do, some piece of plot moves forward.
Right?
So if I'm looking for a challenge, I'll ratchet up the heat all the way. If I'm not, I'll just ratchet it back down to wherever I'm working at the moment and do a serious run.
I love the way they blend story and gameplay
It's
so well.
flawless. And I know Hades 2, it's technically out, right? It's in early access or whatever. But I'm not in a hurry to play Hades 2. I'm excited for it when I get there. But I don't need it now. And of course, the Elden Ring DLC came out, and I was like, well, that's cool. Good for the people who can play it. I never finished that game, and I never will. It is one of my top 5 games of all time. It's amazing, but I will never finish it.
I love the thought of this game is hard. No, we're not going to dumb it down. Get good.
With intention, though. Like,
Right.
When I was playing that game, like, seriously, I could feel myself getting better at gaming in general. I returned to Metroid and I was just a better player. And I credit that to Elden Ring. I see nuances in boss patterns now.
Yep.
And that's great. Like I said, I will never finish Elden Ring. I don't have the time to commit to it. I am a homeowner and a working professional and a parent. I will not finish that game. But could I, like, given infinite time, could I? Yes. And that's the key.
Yeah.
It is a hard as heck game. Intentionally so. But I also feel confident that I could finish it. And that's so cool. Oh, whoops. Missed a bit. And then, of course, on stream, I'm playing Axiom Verge, which is an awesome little indie Metroidvania. I'm basically going to be playing Metroidvanias on stream for a while now.
You gonna switch to Silk Song when it comes out?
No, I never finished the first. Hollow Knight... Actually, I think you were watching a lot or at least some when I was doing Hollow Knight. I never finished it because I realized very quickly, as much as I love it, it is a game that I want to play in a very specific environment.
Yeah.
I don't want to play it on PC. I want to play it on Switch. And I can't articulate why. I genuinely don't know. I think because the beauty of it distracts me on PC. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
Yes.
That I absolutely loved. It is also within my top 10 games of all time. That I haven't finished. And so that's why I stopped playing that on stream. I was like, this is not how I want to enjoy this.
And some of the later precision platforming bits are absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I guess that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. No, let's go darker. And I'll highlight it. Yeah, laser cut brown. That seems good. It's so pretty that I want to devote proper, like, relaxed time to it. And again, I've gotten better at Metroidvanias enough that I can get through it without a problem. So I really, like, that's my... I want to really take my time and pay attention to this game. Yeah, there we go, words. So yeah, no, I will not be playing Silk Song on stream. I will not be playing Hollow Knight again on stream. That's just not a thing. So next I've got a game... So I'm doing Axiom Verge 1 and 2. And then after that, I've got a game called Carrion, which is a reverse Metroidvania, where you play as the villain.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know much about it. It's a Devolver game. RPD says it's good, and Phantasma, one of Adam's chatters, suggested it to me, so we will see. We shall see. But it was on Steam sale for like $7 bundled with another Devolver game, and I was like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah. I have avoided looking at summer sales because there's this little thing coming up in August that I want to save my money for.
Yeah, you're going to have to smack me a bunch at Gen Con.
Keep you away from Westy?
No, it's not dice that I'm worried about. It's actually the Coheed and Cambria concert that I'm worried about. So for those who don't know, Greg and I and Westy and Alex and Russ and others who have cameoed on this show or on the streams, we have a tendency to burn ourselves out like real bad. We will work every available shift to the point where people have to physically like drag us off the show floor.
Yep.
And that's just who our, like, that's our personality. That's, you know, we like what we do and we like the people we do it for, and that's why we do it. It has nothing, like, honestly, the games could be absolute, they're not, but they could be absolute crap and we would still do it.
Yeah, it's the light, but that's the part of the thing, is that they don't suck. They're great games.
Yes.
I love teaching Spirit Island and watch people, the word vomit for teaching Spirit Island is so huge. There's so much up front.
Yeah.
And it's a half an hour of just the demo or talking to you about how to play the game.
Right. Well, it's not at the table anymore, or the demo floor anymore.
Yeah.
Matt and I have workshopped that a bunch, but you know, it's still a work in progress. Anyway, not important. But so yeah, we have a tendency to burn ourselves out, and so this year I said, okay, I'm still going to burn myself out, but I'm going to deliberately work in like ways to reset. And as it happened, Coheed and Cambria and Primus are playing in Indianapolis the same weekend, like the first day of Gen Con. Coincidence? Claudio Sanchez is a giant nerd? I don't think so. I think it was intentional, but we'll see.
And not only are they playing at Indy, they're playing at the amphitheater right there next to
the convention center. Yeah. So Greg and I were like, oh, okay, for $100 to see Primus and Coheed and Cambria, like, yeah, we're going. And that's our Thursday night off. We are deliberately taking a night off. Westy is not. Jacqueline is working, and I think Alex is as well, and possibly Russ. But like, this is my attempt to grow up a little bit, and just listen to my body. At PAX East, we worked our shifts and then went and played Arkham Horror, and that was our PAX East. We did not lollygag. We didn't go to panels or anything like that. We just did what we wanted to do, and it was wonderful. So I'm hoping that this is more of that, and teaches us a thing or two. Because goodness knows we need to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
We're not as young as we were, Greg. And you're older than I am, so...
Yeah, I had that brought up to me at the last Hoosier Con. We used to play this really active game. Remember that game you played as a kid where you kept the balloon off the ground?
Yes.
But that is a full contact sport.
Yep.
And we used to play it, and I came across some guys who were ones that showed us this game. I'm like, hey, what's up? Haven't seen you guys in probably 10 years. And we started talking. We're like, we're all parents now. Mm-hmm. We can't imagine throwing ourselves across a table into people.
Right.
We're like, how did we survive?
Well, so last year, I must have told you this story. And in fact, I'm sure I did. Like, Adam showed up for what, a day and a half of the con.
Day and a half, yeah.
And he wasn't on the floor at all on Saturday. He just, like, he got into town and immediately called me. And he's like, where are you? And I was playing Sentinels with Trevor, so he came and found us. But, and we ended up going out that night because I hadn't seen him in, like, I don't know, 4 years, something like that. And his neighbors, he had brought his neighbors with him who were a little bit younger than us, and newlyweds. And he's like, oh yeah, they're gamers. They've gone to find a bar for us. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, we'll have a couple beers. We'll catch up. It'd be great. What they found was not a bar. It was the club. So Adam and I, two, late 30s parents found ourselves at a rave. It was very uncomfortable. During Gen Con. We found ourselves at a rave during Gen Con. Needless to say, we got out of there as quickly as we could, but that also meant we were still there for over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because his friends, like, had drinks waiting for us and stuff. Like, they had already ordered them, and they were like, oh, yeah, just grab your drinks, and then we're going to party. And we're like, we're parents, and this is not our scene. We figured, like, sports bar where we could sit and talk and, you know, catch up on the latest comic nonsense. No, we can't even hear ourselves thinking here. This is ridiculous.
No.
It was funny. It was very odd.
I hear tell there's a great sports bar within walking distance that has the most amazing breadsticks.
Yes, it's definitely not called Kilroy's at all. And some 30-odd flavors of Long Island's.
Yes.
Last year we went to Kilroy's after the final night. It was just me and Alex and Jacqueline and other Alex. We had 2 Long Island's each, and then played Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. Boy, was that a thing. We won, too.
There you go.
We stole the copy from Daryl. He just happened to have his copy, and we're like, Daryl, we want Arkham. And he's like, yeah, sure. I think Jacqueline still has it. I don't know why Daryl had his copy. To this day, that still baffles me.
Yeah, why travel with that game?
I think there's some optimistic part of Daryl that, like, thinks that he will still find time to play Arkham Horror with us.
No. You're important now.
I mean, he always has been on some level, but, like, yeah. Yes, correct, yeah. I did tell him about the research project the other day, and he was like, and I was like, if you want to, you know, get a test in or get a game in with us, you know, just know it's gonna be a late night. And he's like, yes. I absolutely want anything that Adam makes. I want to play, and if your hands are in it, I like doubly. So, I do believe we will see Daryl at our table at some point over the course of the weekend.
Sweet.
Daryl and I had a really cool idea at PAX too. Like, we're considering, and we got to get Trevor in on it, but like, we're considering doing like almost a supplemental material for Paul and Christopher's podcast, as like Zach and Daryl just wander the show floor before it's open and chit chat about the games industry.
That'd be the place to do it at.
Right. Like, we want to do it at various different conventions, too. Like, what makes PAX Unplugged so unique? What makes PAX East a unique experience? Like, what are we seeing here? It has really no substance. Like, it's just, oh, this is a neat thing. It's just the conversation that we would have in the morning anyway.
Right.
But put it on microphone and like make it a thing. And it might go the way of Trevor and I had a podcast briefly too, that never got released. And the reason it never got released is because we just didn't really know what to do with it. It was a conversation we would have anyway, and that's fine. We recorded it to see what would happen.
Just so small.
Yeah. No, I mean there would be an audience for it. It's the two editors of the letters page. Like, yes, of course people would listen to it, but and we were talking about Sentinel Comics, so the RPG specifically. But did we like? I think part of it was we didn't have enough content to like. It was the same thing a lot of the time. Or us, like prepping a session and being like, well, this is what I want to have happen here. What do I do? And, we'd work together to come up with what happens in the story. But then when we ran out of story, where does the podcast go? So when I was doing the Alice in Wonderland stuff, that's when we were recording that. And it was cool. It was fun. But it just didn't go anywhere. That's fine. It was a good experiment and worthwhile.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Hydrate. It's better.
Oops.
All these multi-part models where it's like, we definitely intended for you to paint this in the sprue, but like, I'm sorry, as a gamer, I'm like, I got a new model, I want to put it together right now.
Right? Also, you have to have a very clear vision of what you want to paint it through.
And sometimes, yeah, if it's in the sprue, I can't tell. Excuse me.
Two of these guys are holding shields. I'm gonna need a really tiny brush to hit their arms.
Let's add a little black to the picture and see where that takes us. Regular black, not Max Darth. Oh, wait a minute. No, I need to do red first. Learning and growing. red. Unless it's... Oh, Blood Rights is good too. Yeah, I'll use Blood Rights. So TC Combat has... Part of the reason you're going to need to stay my hand at Gen Con is TC Combat has a new, like, 170 new colors out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and I'm like, I definitely don't need all of them, because a lot of them are metallics, and I have the Green Stuff World stuff for that. But there's, like... This is all I have for yellow from TT Combat. And their yellow is phenomenal. It's so good. I mean, you can see it on Rogue. The coverage is amazing. So I'm going to need to, like, before Gen Con, I'm going to do the list. I'm going to be like, all right, what do I need? What do I actually need? And I'm limiting myself. So I have an upper limit, and this is not going to show up on this overlay. It's going to show up on the document camera, though. I have 2 racks of 12. So I can get 24 paints at Gen Con. And that is my limit. Because that is all that will fit on my rack before I renovate the office. Yes, I could print more, and I'm aware of that, but I'm not going to.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, first of all, it's going to look weird. You are much more adept at staying my hand than either Jacqueline or Alex. So. Because unlike the two of them, you'll actually do it.
Yes.
Although I always did enjoy when you and I would work together to see how far off book we could get Jacqueline to go.
Pretty far.
Yeah. Because my reaction to her, I shouldn't buy this dice, is no, God, no, wait, of course not. Don't do that thing. Wait, stop, come back. Very Willy Wonka to Mike TV sort of situation.
Yep. So I got to experience my favorite thing about Gen Con at my convention this year. They put the library in a corner room between 2 hallways. The hallway kind of takes a jag around the outside of the room. So we had both doors open so you could see the library from both angles if you're walking down either hallway.
Yeah,
I had a couple people go, hey, look, this is a quick, easy access to the other hallway.
Oh, no! So for those who aren't aware, Greg and I have a pervasive agitation with people who use artificial hallways as shortcuts. It absolutely drives both of us up a wall because it is a pervasive problem. And yes, I've used pervasive twice in the last 10 minutes. But it drives both of us crazy because it's like, this is not... What do you... No, stop. Don't... To the point where Greg and I have both... Well, Greg more than me has theorized that if we rig a marshmallow launcher to detect that automatically, then maybe it'll deter people from doing that. I don't think it will, but it's funny to think about. And we, it's for clarity, neither one of us, like in all honesty, neither one of us would actually do it, but it's fun to think about.
Yes.
And annoy Jacqueline with. I mean, that's definitely part of it too. This was a theory that we came up with at PAX Unplugged years ago, and it's just been funny. We thought we could rig it from the die that spins in the air above the Greater Than Games booth, and it would just be automated, and you couldn't pin blame on anybody because, you know, who's going to spend the time to actually figure out who rigged up a marshmallow shooter to the die? Everybody wouldn't. Well, at the time, Maggie would have known exactly who to point a finger at.
Adam's like, I know, I'll completely narc on you. I ain't getting in trouble for that.
Right. But Adam also hoisted himself on his own petard for Whamageddon to get all of us. God, that was I will never forgive him for that. I love him like a brother, but no, I will never forgive him for whamming us. For 2 years straight, he got Broody and me. He got us on this very show, as a matter of fact. He logged in, like, deliberately a couple minutes late, and Ness goes, just mute him immediately. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And he whammed us. And it didn't get us copyright struck either, oddly.
How much of the song did he play?
About 15 seconds before we realized what it was. But he was like, he held his phone up to his microphone, like it wasn't
the best quality, so
right.
Not a big deal.
And he like sat down, he was like, first things first, and he just like whammed us, and he's like, I'm like, oh, Adam.
Thought we were friends.
Although, what really made me laugh about the first time he whammed us all was Sammy tried for hours to get us on the stupid jukebox. And then Adam just casually pulls his phone open on the walk home and plays Wham. That was our first time meeting Shamali in person, too, actually, that weekend.
Yes.
I'm really hoping to get back to PAX Unplugged this year. I don't know if it's in the cards, but, like, if it is, I will absolutely be there.
It's a good time. It's a fun little convention.
Well, it's kind of like for us, right? It's kind of perfectly timed because it's right before the holidays. We need that little influx of cash, and it's not a convention that I go nuts buying things at. In fact, I frequently will come back from PAX Unplugged and be just like, I didn't buy a thing. East also, like, I don't buy a whole lot there.
Yeah, but East isn't so much board games as it is video games.
Right.
Which hits you, but...
Well, it does, but it doesn't. Like, East, you know, the prices are slightly inflated. And it's, like, at that point, I'm really just looking for what is the rarest thing on my list right now, and do they have it? Obviously, I'm not going to go to the nth degree and buy a copy of Mega Man X3. Like, I don't have $400 at any given time for a video game. But, you know, excuse me. You know, I bought X2 this year. I could look back at my planner and tell you how much I spent on. Oh my god, I got the worst hiccups.
Something spicy for dinner?
No. In fact, very much not. I had a salad for dinner tonight. Nice chicken and spinach situation. With some goat cheese and avocado, cucumber. I think I need to drop down a brush size here. Good job, I can. Actually, I can drop down several brush sizes. Ah, the cure. Yes, indeed. Kombucha time. Cheers. been listening to The Cure a lot lately, so I definitely misunderstood your intention there, Blink. The Kombucha Time Redeem was right behind my mic arm right here, so I can't quite see it. Hey, Remote Error, what's going on? How you doing? Happy late Saturday. This is basically freehand. I'm going to hate this. Chilling after watching 2 episodes of The Boys. Nice. I am waiting for that whole season to be available. I will not be binging it. However, I am I want to be able to watch some at a time. And not have to worry about am I going to run out of episodes? Greg and I were just speaking about being responsible parents, and that's a part of it. You have to ration everything out. Right now, I'm working my way through. I'm doing an X-Men rewatch pre-Deadpool, and I'm up to New Mutants, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this movie. Like, I really don't want to watch this movie, but I'm going to. and like, it sucks because my reward for getting through that is Daredevil, the Ben Affleck one.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I'm an apologist for that movie. I like that movie. But it is not the greatest reward. At lunch today, Tim and I were talking about how Fox really screwed up with the X-Men casting. Like, they grabbed a bunch of, like, Game of Thrones and Stranger Things actors when they were hot. And they're not good actors. Like, I'm sorry, yeah. Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner are kind of not good actors. And Charlie, what's his nuts?
And names aren't not my forte.
Yeah. Well, clearly they're not mine either. Like when your lead actor in Dark Phoenix can't cry on command when Mystique dies. Sorry, spoilers for a movie that's like not new. And you have to take away her vape to get her to convincingly cry, you have a problem.
Yes. It needs to be a little more convincing.
Yeah. And I do like Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's a good Mystique. I don't think she's as good as Rebecca Romijn, but, like, that's fine. So, yeah. So that's been difficult lately. Trying to... Realizing that, oh, The Boys is coming out, and, you know, Invincible's out, and other things that I want to watch, but I'm still stuck watching crappy X-Men movies. Did you see the new teaser spot for Deadpool yesterday?
No.
So they officially confirmed that a classic X-Men villain. I won't spoil anything in case you care, but or in case anybody cares, really.
Is the driving force behind the movie?
No, it's just a cool thing that I don't want to spoil. Remote Error, you asked about the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. I don't know. I've actually never seen Elektra. I own it. But I've never seen it. I've never watched it. I bought it because it came bundled with Daredevil Director's Cut, which I love, and Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I think is a criminally underrated film.
Underrated, so underrated.
Is it an objectively good movie? No, but is it freaking fun? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it actually is mostly good.
From a filmmaking standpoint, it's kind of crappy, but like it's whatever. It's, you know, it's a Pacific Rim style fun romp. So let it be that. If Del Toro proved anything with Pacific Rim, it's that a movie doesn't have to be a Scorsese picture every single time. You can do the fun movie and just enjoy yourself.
Which clearly they did, and it worked out amazing.
Yes, correct. Is this the same? No.
You don't need a reason why these giant monsters are here. Just they're giant monsters, and there's robots.
Yep. And, like, did I want more than that out of it? Yes. But I didn't need it. All right, I'm gonna commit a sin here. I want a very specific skin tone here, which is only achievable by Citadel color. It's an absolute crime. Oil tanker sword was cool, yeah.
Yeah. Again, don't have to take yourself seriously.
Yeah. Don't bother to take yourself seriously. It's not worth it. Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. I'm not ready to do flesh color yet. Because I have to freaking do makeup. I hate painting makeup. It is the worst. This is, I think, why I balk at painting female supers. Alright. What am I doing? Black. Okay. Okay, I got her eyes to come out right. That's nice. Let's see if I can get the eyeliner. Jesus Christ, I hate doing this. A smaller brush? I hope so. What do I got? A 000. Triple. Yeah, 000, fine. Go. Okay, it's on the outside.
Do you think I used to only use Citadel colors?
Same. Then I discovered TT Combat last year at Gen Con. And I bought the whole line. At the time, it was the whole line. I'll balls that up. I think I can fix it though.
Manifest.
What have I done?
Don't like how the makeup's coming out.
No, not at all. Ugh. Getting somewhere now. It took me 3 tries to do it, but...
Mm-hmm.
Now I see part of the problem. I need to go like this. Man, I love how controllable dropper bottles are.
Yeah.
By comparison to Citadel pots.
You only need a tiny little bit. It's so much easier to do that tiny little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes you just erase an eye and start over. Thank God for white paint that actually works.
Yeah.
Shout out TT Combat.
It's just like, hey, I kind of look like a paint. No, I need you to actually be white. Is that really what's causing the problem? Oh God, it is. Joking?
Alright, fine. Done messing with it.
Should probably be a joint there.
Weird face sculpt is weird. Fine. I'm done. Sick of that. Now we get to the part of the show where Zach busts out sharp objects. And cuts himself with it immediately. That was good. You're like a clockmaker. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have really small brushes, but they aren't cutting it.
So
Oh,
this is my
Exacto knife.
paint washing cup, Zach.
Huh. That's a Zelda cart.
As a mug, the handle broke. I'm like, oh well, it's got
That's
a nice
Catholic
lip
mug
to
now.
It.
Yeah. So at the store we had one. It was a mug that defined the Catholic Church in a very sarcastic way, but like enough that it seemed serious. So yeah, that was funny. Oh, I completely screwed that up. Oh, well, okay. I'll fix that. Awesome. Alright, where are my sharp objects? I need sharp objects. Oh, where are my sharp objects?
What are you cutting?
Scraping, actually. I'm trying to remove a little bit of paint, masking that I put on when I primed this. I mean, I can do it with my... Oh, here it is. Nope, that doesn't work. There it is. Got it. So this rogue sculpt was not meant to be on a flight stick. I did that because I didn't like the explosion that was on her base.
Ah.
Which is why her base looks a little weird. I sculpted that by hand. Maybe one day I'll 3D print a cool base and transfer her to it, but for now this is fine. And the flight stick is from 40K.
Some friends of mine help run 40K tournaments, and seeing some of those minis, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, some of them are really good. Like they're next level. Daryl and I were talking about this recently. Like there are certain techniques that even like he uses, and I'm like, I don't like that. I like my models to look good from all angles, not just from one very specific, like, lighting configuration. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't get into these modern paint styles that are like, this only looks good from this angle. No. That is not how I want to go about doing that. So I'm old school, I guess. And, you know, a lot of that involves airbrushing and stuff, and it's like, that doesn't seem fair to me. Like, I don't airbrush my stuff. I do it all by hand. Now, I've got some stuff that, like, I've got my 40K Titan that I am not going to try and paint by hand. That sounds miserable. But that's a gigantic model.
Did Broody paint the Chasm Fiend on stream?
No.
Yeah, one of the final things is a giant model. Like, I can't imagine trying to paint that.
Right. But I also don't, like, I don't have time to learn how to airbrush.
Paint brushes were good enough for my father and his father before him. They're good enough for me.
Right. In my case, it's my mother, but yeah. My dad is not artistic. Anyway. Phew. We done? Just one and done? All right, good.
Yeah.
Guarantee that's not the case, but...
Now, my dad prefers oil paints. I'm like, no.
Oh, God, no. I've met your dad. I can see why he would prefer that, but yikes.
When did you meet my dad?
Last year at Gen Con.
Gen Con. And swung by the room.
Yeah, last year. Still fed up with these eyes. Driving me absolutely bonkers. Just redoing them. I'm putting them in a different position. I think that's really what it's going to come down to. I don't like where the pupils ended up. Yeah, exactly, remote error. So summer school starts on Monday.
Do you do summer school?
This year. They offered me my full teaching wage. How could I say no?
Hey,
Like,
right? Which is odd because summer school is just wrapping up here.
yeah.
My kid got his lifeguard certification this year
Mm-hmm.
during school year, so he could lifeguard during the summer.
That's cool. Let's see if that did it. Nope. Got one of them. Random Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links music. This is Mega Man X6. Oh my god, I finally got it.
Eyes are the worst.
Jesus. Oh. Blink, I'm not even going to ask you to do it. It's cheers. It's kombucha time. Golf claps all around you, for real. Good grief. What a pain in the dingleberry. Alright, a little bit of easy stuff real quick. Oh no, I am not doing my brother Marcel. You know my brother Marcel. He paint eyeballs. And they do not look good. So he erase. He use white paint. I say, Marcel, why you do that? It make much more sense to start over. You say no. White paint. Always white paint.
A little later on, the painting goes even more crap. I say, Marcel, start over. You're being, how they say, pig-headed. I say, but this is how it's done. So what can I do? I give it. Later on, Marcel, he sold a painting at the gala. €1,000,000. Micro. There you go. You got my brother Marcel. Oh dear.
Saw a few of those today.
Deer?
Yeah.
What were you out doing? Oh, go on, but I'm going to follow up on that story in a second too.
Just they live out in the absolute boonies.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Nothing like what Jacqueline had a couple years ago. Just randomly showed up in the yard.
Yeah.
She kept trying to go out there and make friends, and I'm like, "You're not a Disney princess. If this thing goes wild, it attacks you."
You're effed in the B.
None of us were recording though, which we probably, in hindsight, probably should have.
Yeah, well, you know.
But it went well enough for her, so.
Yeah, there you go. So the other day I'm watching. Oh no, I'm reading I'm reading a comic book on the couch, and you saw about 13. Jeez, man, that's awesome. I'm reading a comic book on the couch, and my cat starts losing his mind. Normally, when Buster loses his mind, it's like, you're okay, whatever, dude. Just cut it out. You're being stupid. But then I heard a thud outside, so I got up and I was like, all right, why is Buster clawing at the window? Turns out there was a bear in our yard. Casually. And he's going through our dumpster. And I was like, well, yeah, here we are. And there was nothing in the dumpster, so he just wandered off. But I was like, Buster, why would you antagonize a bear? You are a cat. More specifically, you are a fat house cat. What are you going to do against a bear? And of course, all he did was and show me his belly. Which, gods forbid, I touch.
Right?
That is
That's
a
what his
trap.
plan for the bear was. Show up my belly and then claw its face off.
Get right. I love my cat. He's so dumb. He's incredibly smart, actually. He's very, like, clever. He's very clever, but he's stupid. Absolutely zero common sense.
In the way that only cats can be.
Well, and baboons. Alex already managed to have his baboon moment from Gen Con.
Uh-oh.
He forgot to sign up for shifts.
The shifts haven't gone... Oh, well, I guess you guys might have.
For us, yeah. Because we get assigned our shifts.
So that's Monday.
Sure? I have no idea. I already know all my shifts.
might be the time for me to try out some of these new colored metallics I have. Because I think this is a master mold.
You don't have one. You do.
Alright, what have we got? Orchid purple. Uh-oh. Come on. There we go. Yes, you should remote error. It's a good time. How long have... I mean, you've been going to Gen Con longer than I have, Greg, but... I mean,
Yeah,
we've been
since it
going...
moved to Indy.
Yeah. We've been hanging out together at Gen Con for probably a decade at this point.
I'm not making my way up to Milwaukee, but when they moved here, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
always fun when Gen Con overrides with a Colts game,
With what?
a Colts home game.
Oh, yeah.
They try to avoid it as best they can, but sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, well, it'd be preseason at that point, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, it depends how. Not always. Gen Con can be pretty late, too.
Okay. When was the last time it was at anything other than the first week in August?
When I first moved here.
Oh, fair.
But still, you get guys in blue face paint making fun of the cosplayers.
That seems ironic.
And it's like, really? All right. If that's the road you want to go on. And the previous stadium used to be literally attached to the convention center.
Right.
They're technically still attached, but like was part of the convention center.
Right. I got you. All right.
Now they're adding yet again another hotel downtown.
I know. We are not. So, Jacqueline and Alex and our crew, we are not at the Westin this year.
Do you know what hotel you're at?
I'm not going to say that on the internet, but yeah.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable saying whether it's one of the attached hotels or
It
not?
is not. But, whatever.
And I'm pretty sure my guess is where it's at. And I hope the construction there is done. Yeah, that walk back, especially depending on how late you leave, can go just absolutely fine, or it can get a little dicey.
Yeah.
Also, check with Westy. There might be an underground passage or two that gets you there without actually going outside.
Well, if there's one thing that Adam and I learned going to the club last year, it was getting fresh air at Gen Con is actually really nice.
Yeah. Well, it's downtown Indy, so fresh air.
Yeah. Heavy air quotes fresh air, but it's still, it's fresher than convention air. We definitely dawdled our way out there and back. So I decided she was fighting some sort of master mold facility. So I'm doing it Sentinel purple and blue.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I really think like part of that is just to offset the greens and like the almost drab colors of her costume. Just give it a little brightness. Kara and I installed their tap lights in the cabinet, my display case, but they're also controlled by remote control.
Oh, neat.
That's under my desk, which is pretty cool. Kara really enjoyed playing with it. She got very frustrated when I took it away.
Yeah.
But now she knows where it is, so she can just reach under the table and do it.
Yeah. East side. Pretty sure those were not fireworks.
Oh no. Someone's celebrating freedom.
Probably not in the way that's best, but yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah. Oh, America. Why do we live here again? Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm gonna highlight with some stuff anyway. Good enough for now. Alright, I'm gonna slap a little bit of ink on this and we're gonna call it a night. Alright, costume is gonna be Nolan oil. Where did I put that? I knocked it over a few weeks ago. That's not it. You it? Is it you? No. Is it... There's you.
There's the big brush here. Yeah.
Really, the only thing that's not getting Null Oil in this mini is face.
Paper plates.
Yeah, they exist.
They work great for pallets.
Well, unless you buy a wet palette, in which case
Yeah.
it's just better.
Sure. And if this turns out something that I can devote time to, I might start spending more money.
Well, you know where to find us.
Yup. There's this little game that should be shipping out soonish.
Are you referring to the Arcane Wonders game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought mine all pre-painted. Shamali and I couldn't be arsed.
No, we're not doing that.
Well, I bought a set of the Freedom 5 to paint. And I've been preliminarily commissioned to do another set of Freedom 5. And I'm like, that's fine. That's more than what I need. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up. That might be too wet still, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, that's actually dope. I genuinely think a coat of Null Oil over the pre-painted minis is going to look really good, and kind of exactly where I want them to be.
Yeah.
So I'm using the excuse to be lazy for a minute.
Again, you're a working professional.
Yeah.
A dad.
And a
Time
homeowner.
is a premium.
Remote Error says they were hearing some fireworks while watching The Boys. That's an interesting... Interesting timing. Always. Apropos, I guess. So the way that the green stuff worked on this actually makes it look like there's a rock. And it's like, this looks like a landmine situation outside of a master mold facility, and I don't hate it at all. I'm actually really happy with it.
That's not a bad idea. Rogue would definitely jump on a landmine.
Right? And I've got these awesome, like, liquid dust paints from Green Stuff World that I'm going to use to make sort of some post-explosion-y nonsense. Alright. Let's see if I can do this without ruining the face. Gotta apply Flesh Shade.
I'm gonna use a really small brush to do it because I don't want it everywhere.
Definitely don't want it in the eyes.
No. Actually, it doesn't hurt to get it in the eyes as long as it doesn't glop in the eyes. Why am I saving this? This is dumb. I'm being stupid.
Because they might be useful someday.
No, these Games and Gears brushes came in like plastic sleeves, like straws. And I keep trying to put them back in. I'm like, this is just getting ridiculous. Why am I doing this? I don't use them that often. Why are my headphones cutting out? There we go. Okay. Did it. We're good. Just highlighting to go, and that can wait till next week. Wow. I'm really happy with how this mini's coming out so far. Come on, focus camera. Oh, whoops. It's... What are you doing? Go away. So obscuring my guest. Yes, it is kombucha time. I will finish my kombucha right now. Anyway, yes, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Greg, thank you so much for filling in for Broody. We'll have you back on as soon as we can. This was a lot of fun. Always great to catch up with you and see what you're up to. Chat, I will be back on Monday for more Axiom Verge. I'll have to talk about first day of summer camp and all that. Friday as well. And then hopefully we'll have Broody back on Saturday. If not, Greg will hopefully be willing to join in again. Greg, do you have anything to say in closing here? He can't hear me. Oh dear. One sec. Well, that's weird. Can you hear me, dude? No, he can't. All right. Well, I will let him be, and we'll talk to you all real soon. Bye.
I can now. bad.